The purpose of this video is to provide you the essentials required to write a case study. So let's start. Now, the main idea behind a case study is to capture real events. It is a narrative description of events that have already taken place. The events or stories should address a problem, an issue, a challenge, or an opportunity. Now, let's look into them one by one. A challenge depicts strength to face certain odds. So what are some challenges that we can write case study on? Now, the current challenge is to get the vaccine for COVID-19. Working from home has its own challenges. Knowing when to embrace change is a challenge. Business that have managed to go online might have a sigh of relief, I suppose, amidst of COVID-19. Automation of job is a challenge for businesses and government as far as labor market is concerned. So these are some areas of challenges. Let's move on. As opposed to challenge, problem leads to uncertainty and creates vulnerable circumstances. For example, domestic violence is on the rise since spouses are spending more time with their better half, or should I say worse half. So I hope you guys are doing fine, having a gala time, speaking like Doraemon, no much issues. Some other problems are like poor market research, due to which a lot of products have a short lifespan. So this is some area of problems that case studies can be written. And another aspect is opportunities. Online learning with COVID-19, global teaching and learning is for surely going to transform. Huge opportunity. Another one is delivery service. I think now I just want everything to be delivered to my doorsteps. This industry is sure to boom. Many big names besides GrabFood and Foodpanda are going to emerge. And lastly, with climate change, green consumerism has picked up steam. So this is some area of opportunities that case studies can be written. So you see there are multiple aspects, areas where you can write your case studies on. Now, when we talk about case studies, and looking into the earlier situations that I've discussed with you, one thing is certain, that case study should reflect complexities and uncertainties which should lead to real-life decision-making. So remember, we are talking about real cases here, and it should lead to decision-making. And tough decisions are being made these days. Should we extend the movement order control? Should we go online? Should we restructure, especially firms? And I think, this is another important decision making. I think, should hair salons operate, amidst COVID-19, which is still being debated. So it means, you see, you're actually collecting a lot of facts and figures, looking into situations, and then making the right decision. So it means that whatever case study that you write should lead to such kind of decision making. Let's move on. Now, so at the end of the day, a case study should lead the decision maker to take a stand. A case study that is written has to figuratively position the reader in the decision maker's shoes. So, allow the decision maker to evaluate the case from multiple facets, to make justified judgments or decisions. And the decision maker should use multiple decision making tools to assess the issue, such as strategy map, SWOT analysis, decision tree diagram, statistical inference. I'm sure there are a lot of tools, especially from the area of medicine, engineering. So they should be using all these tools in order for them to make decision. So it means that cases must, at the end of the day, try to lead to certain level, or certain kind of decision making. Very important. And a case study is entirely based on facts. No judgmental manifestation or presumptions. For example, COVID-19, change of government, 1NDB scandal, MH370, they are here for rail. Okay, the issue should not be vague, must be clear to provide ample of room for analysis and discussion. Yeah. So what you can see is, so far I have provided you an extensive overview what case study is all about. Yeah. Now, let's dive into some technicalities. Yeah. Writing a case study involves a three-stage strategy. First stage is brainstorm. The second stage is data collection, and stage 3 is writing the case. Yeah. Let's explore them one by one and see how a case study is manufactured. Yeah. In the brainstorm stage, the writer has to decide on the type of case study that they want to write. Okay. There are two types, a library type case study or a field-based case study. Yeah. A library-based case study is written using secondary resources, mainly documented resources like annual reports, newspaper clippings, websites, and others. A field-based study is focused on primary resources via interviews and observation. Now, if you ask me, okay, which is the best type of case study, I will say it's the third type. Okay, the best type is always the marriage between library and field type case study. So, once you have determined, once you are clear the type of case study that you want to do, okay, once you have decided, you need to determine the lead. Okay, so whether the case study, what is the lead here? Yeah, whether the case study is based on a firm's issue, a specific business type, or a particular individual. Let's say if you are interested, yeah, in writing a case study on leadership, then the lead can be an individual. Probably you want to write a case study on our present Prime Minister, on how he has managed the outbreak so far. So you see, you need to determine your lead. So once you have determined the lead, what you want to do next is you want to do some background search now. Why this section is important, or why this step is important, okay, is especially for field research, because you'll be engaging with others via interviews. So you don't want to ask them information which is already out there. Yeah, it's wasting your time and it's not efficient. So this will help you to understand your lead better. Okay, and okay, this will allow you to segregate, yeah, or decide what is the information which is already there, okay, and which is the information that you need to dwell upon, okay, in more detail. Yeah. So once you already have the background search, okay, we move on to the next step, which is theory, concept, and principle. Okay, now to me personally, this is a very important step. Yeah, which is to determine the theory, principle, or at least a concept related to the field of your expertise. Because you have to understand that, okay, you are writing a case study for a target audience. Let's say you're writing for undergraduate students. Okay, so once you have written the case study, someone is going to use your case study. Okay, for example, a particular lecturer want to use the case study in the class. Okay, who then would want to link the case study with the context of what is being taught in the class. Yeah, so you see, you have to already start aligning your case study. For example, my background is economics. I want to use a case study to assess my students' knowledge on the concept of demand. So I'll make sure I pick a case study that has the content for me to discuss the concept of demand at the end of the day. Yeah, so for me, again, I feel that from the very beginning, okay, you have to be clear about the concept or the subject matter that you want to test in your case study. Yeah, it's going to be very important. Yeah, I was going to say not test, I was going to say taste. Yeah, because we are always at home and we're just getting so hungry. Yeah, you just want to taste everything. Yeah, sorry, jokes aside. Yeah, so if you are clear, okay, about these steps, okay, you have brainstorm and you have a clear picture, okay, you can already, yeah, having some idea. Now, let me give you an example, okay, what I mean by a concept, okay, or a principle here, okay. Let's say I want to write a case study for students. I want to test crisis management model in class. Now, what is crisis management model? Okay, there are 3 different phases of crisis management, okay, according to Gonzalez and Pratt. They say that every firm will go through these 3 processes: diagnosis of problem, selecting the right strategy, and implementation of change and monitoring. So The case study that I write should depict the actions taken by the CEO of a particular company to manage crisis by keeping in mind how he or she would have applied the crisis management model. So using my case study, okay, once it's ready, the student will then assess whether the three-stage process was involved. If yes, they will bring it out from the case study, what was done. If not, why they did not follow. Again, that information is going to come from the case study. Okay, so this will allow them to deeply engage with the case study. Yeah, so the concept helps you to set the direction to determine the depth and breadth of your case study. Yeah. So I hope that this example has actually helped you. Yeah. So we are done. Okay, we are done with the theory, concept, or principle, which is step number 4. Next, once you are done with the theory, concept, or principle, okay, what you want to do is, okay, you want to determine the objective of the study. Okay, so same thing. Okay, we always need to have our objective. You need to be clear again. So definitely your objective will somewhat relate to the concept that you want to test. You see, taste again. Okay, that you want to test. So later this objective would actually become your questions. Okay, your questions in your case study. Yeah. So once you're clear about your objective, so it means that at this stage you already have a very clear direction of your study. So next, if it's going to be a field study, what you have to do is that you have to set the interview questions. Again, your interview questions will be in line with the concept, subject matter. Okay. And lastly, once your interview questions are ready, what you have to do is that you have to shape an action plan. Okay. It might sound cliche. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Yeah. So by following all these steps, okay, we can technically see that you have done with your brainstorming. And let's move to our next stage, yeah, which is data collection. So what you have to do over here is that, okay, for the data collection process, you need to arrange for a formal visit. I would suggest meet a senior member. They are your key informants. They should provide you quality information. And I think we have a plus point here. Yeah, we can seek assistance from our practical students. They are always going to organizations. It will be much easier for us. And then conduct your interview using the proper methodology. Okay. And next, case clearance. It's important. What you want to do is that, okay, once you have drafted your case, you want to revert back to the organization, okay, and to allow them to validate what you have written is in accordance to what they have said. Then get some formalities done, make them to sign the clearance form. Okay, you can get the clearance form online. Okay, and you can amend accordingly. Okay, so that you don't have any issues once the case is published. Now, let's say, okay, if they are hesitant, okay, they are not so happy that it will be published, tell them that you will disguise them appropriately. Okay, and will give them the case once it's already written, okay, so that they will be able to validate. And at the same time, tell them once the case is fully ready, a full-fledged case, the end product, you will give them a copy and tell them that they can use it during their hiring process. Okay, because nowadays organizations, when they hire people, there is no more the old school type of interview questioning one-to-one. They give people case studies and assess whether to see how their employees think. Okay, so you see that they can use this case study to check, okay, how their potential employees solve real organizational problems. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring you back here. Okay, remember, yeah, we are gathering information about problem that has already taken place in the organization and it is solved to a decent extent because we also want to know how they solved it. Yeah, at the end of the day, you need to prepare an answer scheme as well. We will come to that later. Yeah. And do share your action plan, okay, with the organization so that they are also aware, okay, of your urgencies and your schedules so that both parties can work together, because I'm sure that you'll be going back and forth several times to get your case study done. Yeah. Now, still staying at the data collection stage, what you have to be, okay, during the interviews is that, yeah, you have to be curious, you have to ask why, and why, okay, be attentive of who said what. Because you are going to tell the story. Okay, you are the storyteller, so you need to know your actors, you need to know the characters. Yeah, so technically it's like membawanging. Okay, so you have to be the makcik for a while. Yeah, what you have to do is that scan for symptoms that will lead you to the core concept. Okay, remember what you want to do is that you want to stay as close as possible to the concept that you want to test later in your case study. So once your lead is giving you certain idea, okay, about the concept, you want to dig in more on that. Yeah, focus on the process. The process is important because later you want to have the flow when you write. You need to write your script, so you need to know the narrative, you need to know the story. Wow, it's like a detective job, yeah? Like a movie director also got. Interesting or not? Yeah, I feel that, okay, there's a thrill. Okay, I'm sure that to an extent, sometimes we are tired of writing that normal journal articles. It's so boring literature review, right? So probably this will give you some thrill, okay, and some excitement to write. It's like finding, okay, who killed the boss wife? The food panda delivery guy? The maid? And lastly, you found out that she was murdered by... Okay, you go and find out. Yeah? So, you're done with your data collection. We move to the final stage. Okay? The final stage is writing the case study. Okay? You have all the information with you. I would again suggest begin with the end in mind. Remember, you want to test the concept. You are writing, okay, when you're writing, you make sure that you review your objectives, you review what you have written, okay, there will be a lot of information, you don't want to get carried away, yeah, stay focused, pay attention, especially to what type of treatment was given to solve the problem, the process that they went through, what did they do, okay, all this thing is going to be very, very important, okay, because these are the things that's going to give cue, okay, cue or the lead to the concepts, okay, and lastly, what was the outcome, yeah. So while keeping all these things in mind, definitely when you're writing, you need to have a structure, okay. We have become so structured that we can't work without of any structure, okay. So that's why we're having a tough time going online, okay, because we always need a structure, okay, we always need a timetable, but never mind, okay, we're going to break the boundaries, okay. So what is a structure to write a case study? Remember, it's not like a journal article. You need to have your abstract, introduction, discussion, conclusion. Conclusion must be less than 300 words. You must have reference, citation. No, there's no such thing here, okay. For case study, there is no rigid structure, okay. Now, I can just give you a very simple structure here. Okay, you can later dig into so many case studies are out there. You can see that they are written in different formats. So to make it simple, we can divide the case study into 3 parts. Okay, it has an introduction, body, and conclusion. Yeah, so let's look into them one by one. Introduction is like the abstract. Okay, it will provide the case description. Yeah, briefly introduce the lead. Okay, and what is the issue, okay, they are facing, and what are the questions you intend to raise. Let me give you an example. Okay, let's say we pick up a university. Okay, so this is how somewhat I will write my introduction. ABC is a university providing business courses over the past 80 years. Okay, description. I've given the description. Lately, the number of students are decreasing. I've highlighted the problem. Next, I raise the questions. Are the number of students decreasing because the courses offered are outdated? Okay, so you see, you can write something like this. Of course, not as simple as this, with a little extension, but you're going to, like, raise the, okay, you create the adrenaline rush, okay, within the reader. Okay, I need to get more into this thing. Okay, I need to read this case study more. So the second part is the body. Okay, so this is the important part and the major chunk of the information discussions are going to come from here. Okay, here you give a detailed information. If it's going to be the organization, you will give a detailed information about the type of organization, their financial data, their marketing strategy, their management issues, their crises, and etc. Okay, here you'll have all the discussion here. Okay, Let's say if I'm using the same university example, okay, then you will give details pertaining to what? The university background, the courses offered, the students' enrollment data, okay, what are the promotional strategy the university used, okay, what are their financial data, what are the organizational problems. So these are the things that you will talk in the body, yeah. So your body is the one, okay, which is going to give as much information, okay, in order to solve the case later on, yeah. So this part will have an extensive discussion, and the last part is conclusion. Okay, now conclusion is to give, okay, a sense of urgency to the reader. Okay, remember in the beginning we say you're putting the reader into the decision maker's shoes. Okay, so what will we write in the conclusion? Okay, let's say I'm still using the same university example. Okay, so I will write something like this. If the students' enrollment dips another 5%, the university will be closed. The top management will be having a meeting in 2 days' time. Urgency. Okay, urgency. I'm talking about urgency here. The CEO has to present to the board of directors on the reasons for the decline and the solution. Okay, so you kasih takut sikit. So, you can also end with questions. Okay, the moment you say the CEO has to present to the board of directors on the reasons for the decline and the solutions. So, you can have some questions here. What are the reasons for the decline? How can the universities increase the enrollment rate? So, these are the questions that you want, okay, the case reader to solve later on. Okay, so this is the brief structure. Yeah. I'll be providing you some of the case samples. You can look into the case samples and see, yeah, how they've written. They would have been written differently. Okay, some you even have case studies which are like dialogue, like people interacting. It's like a script. Yeah, okay, so there are many ways. I will share with you later on. You can see how they are being written. But this core main 3 element, introduction, body, conclusion, is usually there. Yeah. Okay, what else? We are still in the scope of writing. Writing the case, don't forget the drama. Okay, you want your reader to be, okay, gripped to your script. Your script here is your case study. Okay, so don't forget the drama. Let's say if you're talking about the university scenario just now. Let's say you interviewed the VC. He was your lead. Okay, and he said, okay, the VC said something. The lecturers are lazy. You take the quote, you put inside there. Okay, because it will give a certain indication. Okay, students can pick up from there. The case readers can pick up from there. Why he said that? Okay, or probably the staff said VC is not meeting the staff frequently. You take there and you quote which staff said that. Okay, so it means that there is some leadership problem. You see, this kind of quotes all should be there. You have to create the scenario, the environment, the gripping environment, okay? The membawanging is so important, okay? You have to make your case interesting, yeah? Let me just share some tips, okay, when you're writing. Make sure you avoid jargons, okay? Avoid time phrases like recently, how, last year, and so on. Avoid personal opinions. Avoid anticlimax, okay? Use more active voice. And disguise the case, okay, appropriately. Okay, what I mean by appropriately here is that, okay, you want to remove the names. Okay, let's say, okay, you have already got some sales data. Okay, so let's say if the sales data you are inflating it double, then make sure you also inflate the profit also double. So you do it properly. Okay, so that the case is well justified. Yeah. Okay, so these are some tips you can use. So remember, the drama is important. Okay, I'm sure. Yeah, I hear you must be experiencing a lot of drama at home, but never mind. Okay, that drama, it's a whole lot of another level. Okay, so okay, you have written the case. So what happens once you have written the case? You get your case published. Okay, and now, okay, a lecturer from far away is going to pick up your case, okay, and he wants to use in the class, right? How will he know whether your case is appropriate for his or her class? How will he or she know that the case covers the concept that the lecturer is supposed to test in the class? Okay, so what you have to do, you have to complement your case with a teaching note. Teaching note is the answer scheme for the case study. Okay, so you have to guide your case user, okay, on how to use your case study, and you have to provide them what is the solutions to the questions that you have raised in the case study. Yeah, so the teaching note will have the following features. Okay, the case title, the case synopsis, okay, it's a brief information about your entire case. Target group, your target audience. Okay, this case is made for who? Is it for master students, undergraduate students, employees? Who? Okay, you need to write who are your target group. Suggested questions. Okay, what are the questions that the case user, okay, or the lecturer can raise, okay, after providing the case, okay, to the target group. Case leading strategy. It refers to how to conduct the case in the class. Should they make it into a group discussion? Okay, you have to say, like, do they need to allocate like 20 minutes? They have to sit in a group and brainstorm and read the case. And after reading the case, they have to probably watch a certain video. Do they provide you the answers for the answers to the questions immediately, or do you want them to, like, have some other creative ways on how to handle the case? Is it a role play? Okay, so you have to give them the strategy. And you must also, okay, outline the learning objectives. Okay, from the learning objectives, they will know, because in the learning objectives you'll put, okay, from this case they will understand so and so concept, so and so theory principle. By looking at the learning objective, the case user will know this is the suitable case for me. Okay, then what type of analysis is being used to solve the case? Okay, whether it's a SWOT analysis, statistical inference, you have to tell them and give explanation about the analysis. And lastly, you must also provide them what is the solution to the cases, the answers. So from where you got the answers? Okay, the answers were the information that you get when you were interviewing your lead. Remember I said the case should be already solved to a decent extent. Yeah, we are talking about real life decision making. Probably you would want to merge a little bit, okay, with the content or subject matter, but you are not going to change this thoroughly. Yeah, remember, real life situation. Yeah, and probably some other information. So my recommendation here is write the case study and teaching note together. Okay, then it will be synchronized, and it will also help you to be on track. Yeah. So that's why I've mentioned in the earlier stage, okay, it must be, okay, the issue that is already taken place and solved to a decent extent. Yeah. So this is how, yeah, you write your case and then you also write your teaching note, okay, or some also calls it the user guide, yeah, or case solution. Usually, yeah, the user guide or case solution is not available. Yeah, you have some journals that have some case study journals. They might just only give you the cases. They won't give you the teaching note or the case solution. What you have to do is usually you have to request the user guide from the editor, and they will email it to you. Yeah. Okay, these are my references. Wow, we are to already almost towards the end. Yeah, I've reused this book, yeah, Case Study Essentials, okay, writing a case study by Kandasamy. I feel that it's a very good book, very simple, very straightforward. I would suggest get one and, read it, okay, and I would like to also thank my friend, okay, Ahmad Razman. Okay, he has actually assisted me a lot, and I've learned a lot from him in writing case studies. Okay, and my PhD actually has been based on case studies. So yeah, that's where all this little knowledge, okay, based on my reading has come from. And yeah, if you have been admiring the adorable pictures, okay, it's from Pixels. Okay, you can use pictures from there for your case, for your slides, okay, for your presentations. They are for free. Okay, but remember to just what they call that, make reference to the photographers. Yeah. So we are towards the end of our journey. I hope this video was helpful. Start writing. Okay, it's not so complicated or boring like writing a normal journal article. No literature review. Remember, you have to read dozens of articles. Over here, you do review, but you're reading real cases. What is happening? Yeah, something more interesting. Okay, so I suggest find an interesting area, topic, and dig into it. Don't wait, start writing. Okay, if you have any question, just comment below. Okay, and I will respond to them soonest. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope that this session was fruitful.